Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys had an awesome new year. Today I'm going to start the year with something very exciting. So I finally got my hands on the very popular Hipdot My Chemical Romance palette. Now, if you missed my previous videos, I did a whole rant talking about the shit show that was the launch, along with another video where I talk about some possible dupe options as well. So I'll link those in the description down below if you want some context as to why I'm doing this particular video. And also if you're curious on how I managed to finally get my hands on this palette, Hot Topic just randomly released it at night without any warning, and I just happened to see someone tweet about it, and that's how I found out about it. Because in my rant video, you probably saw that I did a pre-order for the whole collector's box on Hipdot's website that apparently isn't gonna ship until March. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that and see if I can get it canceled, but we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys updated, but today we're just gonna talk about this particular palette. I'm gonna try to give you guys as much information as I can about the palette, down from the packaging to the shades, to the shade names, to how it performs, everything in one concise video. So there will be timestamps in the description down below so you guys can skip around if you need to, because this might be a long video. But before we continue, give me the little thumbs up, because that lets me know that you like this kind of content. And if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe for more My Chemical Romance related content. And now let us proceed. So I managed to get the palette and also the eyeliner off of Hot Topic's website. They didn't have the brush duo for sale on Hot Topic's website. And I also know that Ulta already did their launch at some random point in the past week or so, but I wasn't aware of it because, like with the Hot Topic release, there wasn't really much promotion for it, so it was very bizarre. So this is what I managed to get right now, which is the eyeliner and the eyeshadow palette. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the eyeshadow palette. So as you can see, the eyeshadow palette has the 3 Cheers for Revenge artwork on it, and you just see right here that the lettering is a little bit raised. And you also have the very infamous artwork that Gerard Way designed for this album. And also here at the bottom, you can see that it says Hipdot right here at the very bottom of the packaging. On the back, you can see all of the ingredients along with all of the shades and also all of the designs that are in the shades. And right here on the back, it says it is animal test free and PETA vegan certified, and it lasts for 24 months once opening. The total net weight is 18 grams or 0.63 ounces, and is distributed by Hipdot in Los Angeles. And it's also made in the PRC, which if you don't know what PRC, that means China. It means the People's Republic of China. So this was made in China, but it was designed here, in case you were curious. So this has a sleeve, as you can see. So it has the outer sleeve that holds the packaging in, and then here is the packaging. It's the same packaging, and you still get the very beautiful raised details right there, except on the back of the actual palette, you don't actually get any of the ingredients or any picture indicating any of the shade colors. So that's something that I don't quite like. I wish that they had the ingredients list both on the sleeve itself and also the palette. So that's just me being a little bit nitpicky. And for those who are wondering, the cost of this palette was $26.90. So it's a bit of a markup from the Hipdot release. I believe the Hipdot release was $25, and you can see right here, I still have the sticker attached to the sleeve. So it was $26.90. So let us get into the shades. You do get a little sleeve thingy right here that protects it. You do get a mirror, as I'm going to show you real quick right there. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to try to keep the mirror away from your guys' faces. So I'll just put the sleeve right here. So you can see the shade colors here. And as you can see, there's also really intricate little designs stamped into the palette itself. So there you go. And as for the names, so this purple is called Saint's Protector. This red here is called Pitchfork Red. This black here is called Serpent Sun. This a darker red is called Starless Eyes. This like nice dark middle gray is called Shocking Sinners. This kind of dark brown is called All the Ghost. This light brown is called Mausoleum Door. The white is called Flock of Doves, and the kind of silvery gunmetal color is called Explosive Light. So if you were curious as to where each of these names came from, I, being the crazy, not crazy, more so very passionate My Chemical Romance fan that I am, I actually cross-referenced all the lyrics, so if you're curious as to where everything came from. So the purple shade, Saint's Protector, came from the interlude of 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. Pitchfork Red came from It's Not a Fashion Statement. Serpent Sun came from Thank You from the Venom. Starless Eyes came from It's Not a Fashion Statement as well. Shotgun Sinners came from Hang 'em High. All the Ghosts obviously came from The Ghost of You. Mausoleum Door came from Cemetery Drive. Flock of Doves came from You Know What They Do to Guys Like Us in Prison, probably one of my favorite songs. And Explosive Light came from Bury Me in Black, which is a B-side song that is on Life of the Murder Scene. So that's basically where all of the, I guess you could say, the shadow names came from. If I were to be a little nitpicky, I personally don't like that they named this Explosive Light, because I'm like, where does that come from? It's just like a small little line from one of the songs. So I would have preferred to name this Diamonds You Ate, and that's a line from To the End. Like, I think that might have been more of an appropriate name in my opinion, but that's just me being nitpicky right there. But that's all of the shade names. If I were to say any comments on the color story, generally I like the color story with the exception of this extra kind of dark brown here. I kind of don't really like this brown shade. I feel like they could have replaced this brown shade with another red and possibly a very shimmery kind of burgundy red, reminiscent of Urban Decay's Gash. I think that would have been the better color to put in this spot, but what do I know? I'm just a regular person. I know nothing about makeup design. So that's just one thing I have an issue with the color story. But other than that, the rest of the colors seem pretty consistent for what the album is. And you can see the album cover here for comparison. So there is that. So before we get into the actual swatching and performance, let's talk about the eyeliner. So the eyeliner comes in this kind of really basic kind of unicarton box just to hold the eyeliner. Just has the picture of the eyeliner right here. It just says Hipdot MCR right on the side of the packaging, as you can see there. On the top, it has the Hipdot logo right there. And this one also says that it is animal test free. It lasts for 6 months after opening. It was designed in Los Angeles and it was made in the PRC. So same kind of, I guess you could say, distribution and creation. Also has the ingredients right here. And it's a double-ended liquid liner. So here's the eyeliner pen. As you can see, pretty simple packaging there. On this side, you have a kind of blunt, almost a Sharpie looking end. Not really sure why they went with this choice, but it is what it is. And on the other side, you have a kind of more pointed liner right there. And from the looks of it, they are both a felt tip. If I were to offer any criticism over this liner pen, I would have preferred like one side to be like a liquid eyeliner and then the other side to be like a kohl eyeliner, like a regular pencil liner, because I don't know about y'all, but when I was a high schooler and was really into My Chemical Romance, and I still am very much into My Chemical Romance, but back then I was more of a pencil eyeliner person. Like, I would take a pencil, do the raccoon eyes, and just smudge it with Q-tips or like smudgers. Like, that was my kind of look. So I think it would have been cool for them to do kind of like a pencil kohl and like eyeliner duo. I think that would have been more interesting than whatever like this kind of Sharpie looking thing is. I don't know how I would personally use it, but I'll figure it out. So that's the eyeliner pen right there. So now let us get into the actual colors. Now, a lot of people I know don't want to swatch the palette because they don't want to ruin the cute little stamping inside it, but you see, I don't care that much, so I'm just gonna go in and swatch these colors right here on camera for you guys. So let's begin. So I'm just gonna take it right there and we're gonna swatch it on this arm. So this is Saint's Protector. This is Pitchfork Red. This is Serpent Sun. So that's the first row. And I know my swatches are out of order. Forgive me, but that's how it's gonna be. So this is All the Ghosts. This is Shotgun Sinners, which is right there. Okay, so this is right here is gonna be Starless Eyes. Really nice kind of red. Ooh, it's a nice red. Next here is going to be Mausoleum Door. Kind of an orangey brown from what I can tell. Here is Flock of Doves. Nice white. And then the last one, which is the gunmetal color, which is Explosive Light. Ooh, that's pretty. Like, that's pretty. Like, that is a pretty gray. Like, yeah, it's a pretty gunmetal. Wow, guys. Now, sorry if I'm looking at a weird angle, but damn, that's a nice gunmetal. It's almost like a purpley gunmetal. Very nice. Like, I was very skeptical of like adding a silver to this palette. I can honestly say I was horribly mistaken. That silver was a great choice. And from what I can tell, the color swatch pretty well, like, especially like Pitchfork Red. Like, look, that's a nice rich red. So I'm just gonna wipe these off and then we'll swatch the eyeliner. Okay, so I just wiped everything off and there is a little bit of staining because from my understanding, these eyeshadows use pigments instead of like carmine or anything like that. So there is going to be a little bit of staining. You can see a little bit of staining right here towards the top of my wrist where I had the purple shade and the bright red. But honestly, staining doesn't really necessarily bother me. But they did come off relatively well with a regular makeup wipe. And now we'll just swatch the eyeliner pen and then we'll get into the demonstration. So this is the more Sharpie looking side. So there's like, from what I can, it's a nice deep black. And I'm just gonna cap that before I scribble all over myself. And then this is the more like, I guess you could say, liner side. So overall it seems like a nice kind of black. Personally, I prefer like matte blacks over like shimmery sort of black liners, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I don't hate it yet. So I'm just gonna wipe this off and let's get into the demonstration. Okay, so before we begin, I'm just gonna wipe my bangs out of my face so I can actually see what I'm doing. And since the palette does have its own mirror, I won't need an extra mirror for this. But since I did not get the dual end brush, I'm going to be using my own brushes. These are the brushes I'm going to be using. This is a e.l.f. like shadow brush, and then these two are from AOA Studio. So I got like a little packer and a little blending brush. And just to make sure these shadows have a very fair chance, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Primer Potion to prime my eyelids. So for the look I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna basically do what everybody else has been doing and kind of do like a very red eyeshadow look with a little bit of purple and a little bit of black. So let's get to it. So let me start by priming my eyes. And normally I do my eyeshadow before I do any kind of foundation, just because if there's fallout, I would rather clean it up instead of having it like mess up my entire base. So I'm just gonna apply that. I'm gonna apply it to the top. And my face is already moisturized and already ready to go. And just take the residue and then just kind of lightly do it on the bottom part of the eye. Okay, so eyelids are now primed. And I'm gonna go in with this brush here. So I think I'm gonna go in with Flock of Doves, which is the white color right here. Hope you guys can see that. I'm just gonna take a little bit of Flock of Doves. Oh, there's a little kickback. A little bit of kickback. Take that right on the brow bone. That's not a bad white. It almost looks a little gray on my skin tone, or it could have just be me, because I feel like the white looks a little bit more kind of gray toned, or am I just imagining things? But I don't hate it, it's nice. So from what I can tell, it blends pretty nicely. Not having a difficult time blending the white, but it does look a little ashy on me. A little ashy, and it feels like it does look a little bit gray, and that could just be because of my skin's undertones. But you can see that it's white, but I don't want to like add too much white. So that's what the white looks like on my skin tone. You can see that it's white, but it kind of looks a little ashy on me. Nothing too bad though. Okay, so next then I'm gonna go in with, let's go in with Starless Eyes, which is kind of like the darker sort of kind of red, and I'll just apply it right here towards the base. Yeah, this is a more cool toned red. From what I can tell, this red blends really nicely. Apply it to the other eye. Overall, I can say the Starless Eyes blends really nicely, just like the white color Flock of Doves. Okay, so as you can see, we're getting a little bit of kickback on the shadows right here. Next, I'm gonna go in with the brighter red, and that's called Pitchfork Red, and I'm gonna put it right here. Oh, that's bright. That is a bright red. I really like the red. I think this bright red is really nice. Like, I feel like it blends nicer than the previous red I just used. Like, that's a pretty red. I really enjoy this red. Okay, let's apply it to the other eye. It's probably not gonna be a super even makeup look, but honestly, who cares? They blend into each other very nicely, which I'm honestly fairly impressed with. Normally with these, I guess you could say collaborations or makeup collaborations, sometimes the eyeshadow quality or the makeup quality can be rather crap. But so far from what I can tell, things seem to be blending rather well, and things seem to be blending really well with each other. So far I'm very impressed with that. Okay, so next I'm going to take more of Pitchfork Red on the bottom of my eye. Okay, so we just took the Pitchfork Red color here, and then if you're wondering what I just did, I went back in with Starless Eyes to kind of define this area a bit more. Next, I'm gonna go in with Saint's Protector, which is the purple shade, to give my eyes a little bit more definition. Very nice, very nice. I like this purple. Gives it a nice kind of like, it's kind of like a nice bruised purple, if that makes sense. Very, very nice bruised purple. Great for these kinds of looks. And holy kickback. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with a Serpent's Sun, and since this is black, I'm gonna go in with a smaller kind of brush, and just gonna take a little bit of Serpent's Sun just to give me a tiny bit more definition. Ooh, that's a nice black. Okay, so I'm just gonna clean up the mess that I created on my face and then we shall continue. Okay, so I just cleaned up my mess and I sharpened some edges. As we can see here, it looks very, very good overall. I like the way the colors are blending, gives it a nice bloodshot look. Let me just clean a little bit more here. A little bit, got a rogue shadows there. But I am gonna go back in with some more Pitchfork Red and kind of put it right here on the inner part of my eye because I seem to have missed that. Overall, very nice. So I feel before I completely mess up this look entirely, I'm gonna just add a little bit of this really gorgeous like gunmetal shade on my eye. I think I'm gonna do like a halo effect before I completely destroy this look because I will. So let me add a little bit of explosive light. I'm just gonna apply it with my finger. I'm just gonna just add it right here. Ooh, that is pretty. And that's just with my finger. Imagine if you wet a brush and then apply it. Very gorgeous. But I am gonna like go in with a brush as well. Wow, I'm impressed. Okay. So I'm gonna go in with the clean blending brush. I'm just gonna blend all of that together. I like the fact that you can like blend this out and you get more of a sheen instead of like really impactful color, but you can also get the really impactful color if you desire to. I like the versatility of this. I'm actually going to apply some with my brush. Also, Explosive Light is quite creamy as well. It's a very creamy shade. Okay, I think I like the look we got going on. A little splash of silver. Kind of messy, but not too messy. So let's just clean up these little areas here. So I purposely left my look a lot more muddy because I kind of wanted that more muddy, grungy sort of look, but obviously you can make it much nicer, much cleaner if you want to. This is just what I wanted to do for my look. So basically the eyeshadows are done. So now I'm gonna be testing out the liquid eyeliner. So I'm going to be using the kind of liner side and let's see how this liner performs. Oh, I already don't like it. Yeah, it kind of tugs on your eye. I don't really like that. Okay, so I finished my liner and to be frank, I don't really like it. But I do have a bias that I don't really like felt tip liners. And also I noticed something that happened while I was applying it. When I go in to pull it, the entire, like the ink cartridge got stuck to it. I probably have footage of me surprise Pikachu face that this happened. So the eyeliner isn't my favorite thing so far, but this is what I managed to do with it. It tugs on the eye a little bit too, so I don't really like how that feels. It kind of feels scratchy and it pulls, so not my favorite thing, but overall this is the look that I came up with. And just to complete the look, I'm just gonna add a little bit of mascara to darken my lashes and then add a little lip product and then we'll be done with this demo. So this is what I got. I had a little bit of chapstick, a little bit of mascara, a little bit of eyeliner, and I honestly think it looks pretty cute. I didn't add any foundation because honestly my skin doesn't look that bad today, so this is what we're gonna go with. So overall, I feel like the palette is actually not that bad. Now, no, I only used a few shades. I used this whole top row, I used the red in this row, and in the last row I used the white and the gunmetal. I did not use the two browns or the grays, so I still need to test those out. But based on first impression of using those shades, I feel like the shadows work very well, in my opinion. I was very pleasantly surprised to see how well they performed. I honestly expected them to be crap, to be completely honest. I really did expect them to be crap, but they actually seemed to perform rather well. Obviously, I need to play around with this palette more, so I will be doing another video in the future where I'm just playing around with makeup and I'll be using this palette. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to subscribe. But overall, this palette seems to work rather well. As for the eyeliner, not so much. I don't like how it tugs on my eye. But then again, I don't really like felt tip liners to begin with. I just bought it because it's My Chemical Romance related. But I also found that sometimes like this side of the liner gets stuck, and you'll see what I mean. And it pulls the whole like liner cartridge out. So I'm not really a fan of that. But that's just my personal opinion. Do I feel like you need this palette? To be completely honest, no. If you are a My Chemical Romance fan and you are a stan and you love them just as much as I do, and you have no makeup whatsoever and you're barely dipping your toes into makeup, then I would say get this palette. It has everything your emo or gothic or whoever heart desires. It has all the colors that you would need. But if you are a spooky person who likes makeup, you probably have shades like this in some palette, to be completely honest. But given the price point, it's about $25, $26 depending where you get it. It's not a bad palette, so if you want it, feel free to get it. It's not a bad palette, it does what it's supposed to do, as you can see by this gorgeous look that I created. But is it something that you desperately need to have? Then no. But I would say for the price point, you definitely get a nice high performance shadow based on what I did today. Now, if you've made it this far to the video, because I know some of you have, I am going to be giving away one of these eyeshadow palettes. I purchased a second one to be giving away once I reach 1,000 subscribers here on this channel. We already reached 300 subscribers, which I am so happy because a lot of you came from my Chemical Romance content, so it's only fair that I feel I give back to you once I reach that milestone. Because at that point I can actually make money off of doing stuff like this. So if you want to be a part of my little spooky subscriber family here, feel free to subscribe and you might have a chance to win one of these palettes in the very near future because we are growing very quickly. So there's that. So also, if you made it to this point in the video, leave me a little heart emoji so I know who's watching all the way to the end. But that is the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the, I guess you could say, this first impressions of me testing out this palette. This will not be the last time you see me use this palette, so definitely subscribe if you want to see more content such as this. But that's the end. I hope you guys are having a lovely day, and I hope your new year is starting with a lot of fun experiences given the circumstances we are currently in. But that's it for today, guys. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.